In today's IT world, we are absolutely drowning in data. I mean, every system, every application, every single click generates a log entry. But what happens when something inevitably goes wrong? Well, today we're going to dive into VCF operations for logs, a really powerful tool designed to find that crucial signal in all of that digital noise.
Okay, picture this. It's 2 in the morning, your website is down, the alarms are blaring, and you know the answer is buried somewhere in millions, maybe billions of log entries scattered across hundreds of machines. Where do you even start? I mean, this is the nightmare scenario every single ops team absolutely dreads. And this really gets to the heart of the challenge, what we call the digital haystack problem. You're desperately looking for that one tiny needle of information that can fix the entire crisis. But the haystack of data, it's just getting bigger and bigger every single second.
I mean, think about it. Every single component in your infrastructure is constantly chattering away, spitting out status updates, errors, warnings, you name it. It's not just a stream of information, it's a full-blown torrent, and somehow you're the one who's supposed to make sense of it all. And this data, it's coming from everywhere. We're talking about logs from your operating systems, all your different applications, your storage arrays, the firewalls, the network switches, your VMs, the whole shebang. And the tricky part is each one speaks its own little language in its own unique format, which creates this incredibly complex and fragmented story. So, how on earth do you manage this digital deluge? Well, this is exactly where VCF operations for logs comes into play. You can think of it as the central command center for all of that scattered, chaotic information. At its core, it's a platform for scalable log aggregation and indexing. Now, let's break that down a bit. Scalable just means it can handle massive, and I mean massive environments. But the real game changer here is the near real-time search and analytics. That's the secret sauce. That's what lets you troubleshoot problems the moment they happen, not hours after the fact. And you really have to think about the difference here. The old way? Man, that meant SSHing into machines one by one, manually digging through massive text files. It was slow, it was painful, and everything was siloed. The new way gives you a single, centralized platform. It's literally like having a Google search engine for your infrastructure's logs, instantly connecting all the dots for you. Okay, but how does this magic actually happen? How does a raw piece of text from some random server become a searchable, valuable insight? Well, let's follow the life of a single log entry. It all happens in this continuous, really intelligent cycle. So first, logs are ingested from all your different sources. Then they're immediately processed. We're talking indexed for lightning speed and even analyzed by machine learning. After that, the data is stored and becomes queryable almost instantly. And finally, based on whatever rules you set, old data is either archived for later or just deleted. It's a constant, intelligent flow. And here is the bottom line, the most important part. We're talking about seconds. From the moment an event happens on a server to the moment you can type in a search for it in your dashboard. And believe me, that speed isn't just a nice to have. It's the difference between a tiny little hiccup and a full-blown catastrophic outage. So collecting all this data is one thing, and that's great. But how do you actually use it? How do you make any sense of it? Well, that's where the real magic happens, turning all that raw data into clear, easy-to-read dashboards. Exactly. A giant database full of logs is totally useless if you can't ask it questions and get clear answers back. The whole goal here is to transform that chaotic pile of data into something you can actually use, actionable intelligence. So, the platform basically gives you 3 core superpowers. First, you get this incredibly powerful search function that lets you slice and dice the data any way you can imagine. Second, there's something called intelligent grouping, which uses machine learning to automatically spot patterns and group similar error messages together. And third, you get fully customizable dashboards so you can visualize what matters most to you. And this intelligent grouping feature is a perfect example of how powerful this is. So instead of seeing 1,000 slightly different error messages just flooding your screen, the system is smart enough to group them by problem type. This lets you instantly see the scope of an issue. It's all about seeing the whole forest, not just thousands of individual, angry-looking trees. And you get to build your own view of the world using these little widgets. A query list gives you one-click access to your most common searches. A field table organizes key data into a nice, clean table. And an event trends widget, well, that shows you what's happening most often. You combine these little building blocks to create a dashboard that tells you exactly what you need to know at a single glance.
All right, now let's check out one of the most powerful features, dynamic field extraction. So take a look at this raw, unstructured log message. I mean, it's got some useful info in there, like data store 001, but right now it's just a blob of plain text.
And now, with just one click, you can tell the system, hey, see that data store 001? That's not just random text, that's a structured field. Let's call it data store name. And just like that, you can now search, filter, and build charts based on that specific data store. This is how you turn noise into structured, valuable data, right on the fly. It's awesome.
Okay, obviously a tool this central to your entire operation has to be absolutely rock solid. So let's talk for a minute about how it's built for demanding, real-world, high-stakes production environments. Yeah, this is not some simple desktop app. This is a true enterprise-grade solution, and it's been engineered from the ground up for high availability and massive skill. It's designed to make sure it's always, always there when you need it the most. When we talk about reliability, it really all starts with this number right here, 3. For any serious production environment, you don't just run a single instance. No way. You build a high availability cluster, and the bare minimum to make that work properly is 3 separate nodes.
And this clustering architecture is what gives you true resilience. With a 3-node cluster, you can literally lose an entire node, poof, gone, and the system just keeps on running without a single interruption. If you scale that up to 6 nodes, you can tolerate 2 nodes failing at the same time. This is the kind of fault tolerance you absolutely need for a mission-critical service.
So let's bring it all back together. What's the ultimate goal of a system like this? At the end of the day, it's all about one thing: turning that constant, overwhelming barrage of noise into a clear, understandable signal.
So here it is, the key takeaway. VCF operations for logs takes that chaotic flood of data that we talked about at the beginning, and it funnels it, it transforms it into clear, actionable insights. And the result? Faster problem resolution, way less downtime, and a much healthier, more reliable IT environment for everyone. And that leaves us with just one final thought to chew on. In that massive digital haystack inside your own systems, there are patterns, there are warnings, and there are answers just sitting there, waiting to be found. The only question is, what could your logs be telling you?